Hi, and welcome to the next video of Cool Kids with Cool Minds. So following on from the first video, today we're going to actually talk about the teenage brain and what it's actually doing and why the Cool Kids with Cool Mind course is really important for children today with developing brains. So when our children are growing, their brain is in what we know as a primitive brain, also known as a monkey brain, also known as the limbic system. So basically it's all more about neurological reflexes than logical thinking. It's all about developing skills, it's all about developing techniques, it's all about finding out who you are as a person and what you like to do as a person. So the trouble with modern life today is that it really pushes children out of their comfort zone in the wrong way. So we try and get our children at a younger age to think more logically and to problem solve and to also create a background for themselves in which it's much more thinking rather than feeling and seeing and doing and creating. So children need to use their brain at a much less logical level. The primitive brain is all about reflexes, it's all about touch, it's all about smell, it's all about seeing, it's all about being creative and developing those reflexes and those pathways up to the brain stem and the primitive brain before we then move on to the logical brain. So Cool Kids with Cool Minds course recognises this and says to mums and dads and teachers and children, okay, so what do we do about this? If this is how your brain works, how are we going to deal with this? So this is why the rest and digest nervous system techniques work, because they calm that primitive brain down, they switch it off and they allow a child to think more logically and to understand themselves better and to understand who they are as a person. So we say to a child, look, don't worry, you're not an emotion. These are just feelings and expressions that you're experimenting with. You are actually a personality underneath this. So use the techniques that are in the course and you will begin to understand who you are as a person. When a parent reads the course, a parent understands how a teenage brain works, so a parent can communicate with a teenager better than they could originally. And so it just makes a lot more sense to try and communicate with a child on a child's level rather than, as modern day living does, continually try to make a child think like an adult, and it's never going to work. So what does it do? If we actually carry on making a child's brain do this, what does it actually do? Well, it overloads their system. It just absolutely, totally overloads their system. It uses every ounce of oxygen and every neuron that they've got in their brain until it actually just fries and it goes into meltdown. And so this is why our children these days are suffering more and more stress. And this is why it's seeming like a good idea to some children to actually self-harm and think about suicidal thoughts, because once you have used every ounce of oxygen in that immature brain, it gives reversible dementia signs. I've seen it a lot. I've studied it a lot over the years. I've studied eye strain, I've studied autism, I've studied Asperger's, and I'm seeing all these signs in our normal teenagers. And this is why Cool Kids with Cool Minds recognises it. And this is why I've come up with a course to say, right, let's just stop. Let's just slow those teenage brains down and let's just do some more neurological techniques that are relevant to where their brain maturation is. So I'll explain this more in the next video.